Today is a new day to learn and discover. Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to our English class. I hope you are ready to learn. Let's start. Get your pen, paper, and self-learning module. Let's study the sentences below. His 3-year-old brother is too young to ride a bike. His 3-year-old brother might be too young to ride a bike. What have you noticed on the two sentences? Do they have the same meaning? You've got it right. Obviously, these two sentences are not the same. Let's see what does each sentence mean. As you can see, sentence 1 is stating a fact that his brother is too young to ride a bike. While sentence number 2 is just stating a possibility that his brother is too young to ride a bike. There have been a change on the meaning of the sentence because of the word might. The first sentence is stating a fact, while the second sentence is just stating a possibility. Let's try on the other example. She would eat her favorite food. She could eat her favorite food. Do they have the same meaning? No, they don't have the same meaning. As you can see, in sentence 1, we have used the word would, while on sentence 2, we have used could. There is a big difference between would and could, not just on the spelling. When we say she would eat her favorite food, it means that she wants to eat her favorite food. While when we say she could eat her favorite food, we are giving her options. Okay? So when we say would, we are sure that she is going to eat her favorite food. While when we say could, she has a choice to eat her favorite food. As you can see, we have used the words might, would, and could. And those are examples of a modal verb. Aside from might, would, and could, there are other commonly used modals that functions as helping verbs. Here are the commonly used modal verbs: can, could, might, would, will, must, may. What are modal verbs? Modal verbs are auxiliary or helping verbs that show a speaker's attitude or what are they expressing. It could also modify or change the meaning of the main verbs. We could also use modal verbs in giving advice or suggestions, in making requests, or in giving predictions and prohibitions. Just like other verbs, modal verbs also have rules to follow. And we have, when we say modal verbs are not conjugated. Are not conjugated, which means that we do not add ed or ing at the end of a modal verb. For example, we are going to use the modal verb would. Okay? So it is not correct to you add ed, making it wooded or wooding. Okay? Remember, modal verbs, we do not add ed or ing at the end of a modal verb. They remain as it is. If we are going to express a negative reaction, for example is can, we can make it to can't. Would, wouldn't. but we are not allowed to add ed or ing. Modal verbs also don't change in numbers unlike other verbs. They only add meaning to the word. Please remember this one. They don't change in numbers, which means they remain as it is. For example, he can sing. He can sing. So, the first sentence is wrong because we have said they don't change in numbers. So, we are going to use he can sing. In using modal verbs, you are not allowed to add do or does. For example, do you would return home or would you return home? Which one is correct? Okay, the second sentence is correct. Because we have said if we are going to use a modal verb, we are not allowed to add do or does. So instead of saying do you would return home, we could say would you return home. Now, let's try to differentiate each modal. Let's start with can. When we are going to use can as a modal verb, it functions as expressing a general ability, making offers, and giving permission. When we say can, it means you are expressing an ability which means you can do it. We have here examples. Ella can lift over 100 pounds. So Ella has the ability to lift 100 pounds. Can I hold your hand? Okay, you are asking for a permission while you can dive at this end of the pool. You are giving offers. So please remember, if we use can, you have the ability to do it. Next is we have could. When we say could, it is describing a past ability. So when we say could, it is the past tense of can. Describe a possible current situation. Describe a possible future and make offers or requests. Please take note of the word possible. So it is not saying that it will describe a current situation. It is telling it is going to describe a possible. So if you're going to use could, you are just giving a possibility, which means that it could happen, but you are not sure. For example, could I charge my phone here? So you are asking for a permission. Next is, the situation could improve later this month. So we have used the modal could, which means that the situation right now could improve next month. Could, which means possible. So it still depends on what will happen. John isn't here. He could be studying at the library. So, in here, you are unsure, okay? You are unsure that John is at the library, but you are just stating a possibility that he might be at the library studying. Next, we have may and might. Okay? These two, they are sometimes interchanged, but it is okay. Okay. Now we're going to study when should we use might and when should we use may. First one is might. When we say might, it is also stating a possibility and often implies a smaller chance of something. And it speculates about past actions. While when we say may, it is also a possibility. That's why I have said that we could interchange this one. But for may, it implies a bigger chance of something happening. Then it expresses wish and hope. If you're going to express a wish or a hope for someone, we could only use may. Yan. We have here examples. So I have said, it might rain. So we could use it might rain and it could be it may rain. The difference is that we have said when we use might, lesser chance. When we use may, a bigger chance, which means it is most likely to rain. So if we are not 100% sure or 50% less sure, then we should use might. It might rain, which means that there's only a 30% chance of raining. While when we say it may rain, there is a 70% chance that it would rain. Next, example. This pandemic might end soon. Notice that we have used the word might. Why? Because we don't know, right? We don't know when would this end. We have used might end because there is a small chance of ending this pandemic soon. Why? Because we don't still have the vaccine with us. Next is, may you both live a long life. We have said that if we are going to make a wish or hope, we could only use the word may. So when you say, may you both live a long life, you are wishing someone a long life. Next, we have would and will. When we say would and will, you are expressing a belief about the present or the future. And you also talk about what people want to do. Okay, when we say would or will, it is all about your intention of doing something. If you could remember, when we say could, it means you can do it, right? You can do it, so it depends on you. While when we say would, if you are going to use would, you have the intention of doing it. Okay? It means that you are willing to do it. It is your decision to make. We have here examples of will and would. We will have to take the train. Next, it would be very expensive to stay in the hotel. Next would be, the government would be happy to see people following the laws. So for sentence 1, we will have to take the train. It is stating a future possibility that you are going to ride a train. The last one is, the government would be happy to see people following the laws. It means it is expressing a belief, right? That the government would be happy if we are following laws. Next, we have must. When we are going to use must, it is giving emphasis to an opinion. It gives recommendations. It is saying something that is really necessary, or we are just making an assumption. For example, if you will go out, you must wear a mask. Okay? We are using must because it is really necessary. At this time, it is necessary for us to wear a mask. Therefore, we are going to use must. Next example, you must be so tired after running that marathon. Oh, in here, you are just making an assumption that you must be tired since you are running from a marathon. Next is, students must not run in the corridors. So we have used must in here because we want to give an emphasis that students should not be running on the corridors. So to summarize those modals, we have here the modals and their mood. When we use can or can't, the mood is all about ability, inability. When we use could, it is ability in the past or probability. May, it is a possibility, you're asking for a permission or a request. Might is also a possibility. Must means you are suggesting something or you are obligated to do it. Shall, you are giving an advice or an obligation. Should, you are giving a suggestion or an obligation. Will talks about future. Would, advice or preference of choice. So it all depends on the sentence that you want. So it all depends. So the modals that you will use depend on what mood or what do you want to let your friend or your listener to know. Okay? It all depends what is the meaning that you want to convey. If you want to give a possibility, you can use may, might. While if you are going to give a suggestion, you could use must or should. It all depends on your sentence. Let's try to answer the following questions. Maurice blank share her future experience to the crowd. We have here future. So what modal are we going to use if it is for future? You've got it right. We are going to use will. So our sentence would be Maurice will share her experience to the crowd. So in here, Maurice has a decision to share her experience to the crowd. Next, Hugh blank wake up early. And it is an obligation. So, what do you think? Yes, it would be you must wake up early. So, we have used must because we want to give an emphasis that you need to wake up early. Next example. Kali blank changed his mind about coming home tonight. So, possibility. Under possibility, we have might or may. When we say might, lesser chance. When we say may, we have a bigger chance. So, what are we going to use? Okay, very good. We're going to use might because we are not sure if Kali will change his mind about coming home tonight. Next example. Blank, I have an extra rice. What do you think? Okay, very good. We are going to use can because you are asking for a permission or a request. Let's try if will I have an extra rice? Must I have an extra rice? Might I have an extra rice? Okay, it would be can I have an extra rice because you are asking someone to give you an extra rice. That sums up our lesson for today. I hope you have learned something. Till our next video lesson. Bye!